They're coming to get you, Barbara.
The Fear Central Radio Show. Warning, our content may include spoilers and is intended for mature audiences.
Hey, fellow horror fans, welcome to the Fear Central Radio Show. We've got a bit of a new thing tonight because it is a watch and review, but it's on a whole new movie that just released.
What?
Yes.
So I am your host, Mike, and joining me this week we have
Katie.
Paul.
Heather.
Chris.
And in the background we'll have Tim.
And?
Shout from the couch.
Monica.
Yay, Monica!
Yeah,
She's live from the couch.
live from the couch.
Live from the couch.
So I will have to give fair warning, though, because this is a newly released film. Just like Mr. Fear says during the intro, there will be spoilers.
There
And
definitely will be.
If you want to see this film and do not want to be spoiled,
Turn it off.
go watch the movie, then come back and listen to the show.
Yes.
No one
Yes.
should want to be spoiled.
Yeah, so
But first,
let me take a selfie.
no.
But first
But
We
we
meant to do that. We
We
forgot
need
to
to
do
say-
that. We all forgot to take a selfie in front of the poster for Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not just that. We
that was-
also have
My
to say
Instagram
a
is
very happy
non-existent.
birthday
Yes.
to Miss Katie.
Yes.
Yay,
It's a
Katie!
happy birthday to Katie this week.
Birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
She was immensely surprised with her gifts this year.
Yes, she was.
I'm delighted. No.
They weren't horror related, but
No,
They were
weren't.
not. They were not.
Sorry. We'll do better next time.
But no, it was stuff she loves, so
Yes.
that works.
Correct.
We could always
All right.
take Paul into the kitchen and kill him for you. I mean,
I'm good with him.
Oh, okay.
there you go.
All right.
They've only been married a little while.
Just a little
she
while.
was
You're
holding
still
on to
that-
me for dear
that
life in
nookie
this movie.
phase.
Were you?
I was.
Okay, so this week we are talking
About.
about it.
What it?
It.
It.
You know, it.
What it?
That it.
Really? That? What's that it?
It, you know.
Oh,
Is that
Stephen
like
King's
the
thing.
Oh,
stuff?
Stephen King's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
Stephen King's thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Stephen King's thing.
Gotcha.
Stephen King's thing and John Carpenter's It. No, I'm kidding.
There's a
The
crossover
It from
for
another
you.
world.
Yeah, It from another world.
Well, before we get into spoiler territory, let's just do a round table. Yay
But
or
it's-
nay?
but it's rectangle.
Thumbs up or thumbs down
But
from
it's
everybody
rectangle.
around the table.
But it's rectangle.
Yeah.
Around our rectangle, then.
Around the rectangle.
Starting with the
Is that a new
host.
kid song?
Starting
Around
with
the
Mike.
Rectangle, around
Sounds
the
like a
rectangle.
New Kids on the Block song.
Poor Ben.
Poor man.
Yeah. I don't know. It was... I'll give it a side thumb.
Side thumb.
You
Aside
expected
them.
more.
I expected, hopefully... I mean, I tried to go in with no expectations whatsoever, although I can't get the original miniseries out of my head, so there were certain points I think that they should have remained or been very, very close to.
Some of
So
it-
it was not a bad film. I enjoyed
Some
the
of
film.
it was changed to be closer towards the book. I can tell you that, though.
Yeah, but then some of it wasn't. Some of it was changed to be not the book. So I'll give it a side thumb because it's not a horrible movie. It's definitely worth a watch. But I personally would have liked to see more from it.
Okay.
Which way are we going, left or right?
Whichever.
Birthday girl's next.
Okay. I really liked it, but I'm new to horror movies, and we had just watched the miniseries It over
On
the last
Blu-ray.
2 days on Blu-ray, and so I was really able to compare the two and how I thought they did better or worse or communicated certain ideas
Right.
specifically.
All right. Hey, Tim?
I liked it,
But
it wasn't quite the same as the original.
no, it wasn't.
Mon?
If you've never seen the original, it's definitely worth watching.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Monica?
I've never seen the original. I thought it was great.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
Paul?
I like both of them. I honestly think this one is far more unnerving than the miniseries.
It was a little bit.
Pennywise was definitely scary.
The problem with the miniseries, like I'll go ahead and say this, is just watching it now. It was made for TV in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It suffers from some cheesiness. Ironically, it's from the better actors in the production, though, because the adults are the cheesy actors in it.
Yeah.
But I love that entire adult cast. I think it's just a victim of the era it came from.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you put John Ritter and
Harry Anderson
together, and that right there, that's a comedy duo.
Mm-hmm.
Because John Ritter was really funny in Three's Company.
Yeah, but he can do drama.
He can, yeah.
He has some range.
But Annette O'Toole and Olivia Hussey, they're both awesome too.
Right.
Yeah. Although she didn't have much to do.
Yeah.
in that
Olivia
movie.
Hussey,
No.
All right, Heather.
I liked it. I mean, I liked the original, and there are definitely some differences,
Right.
quite a few, but there was also some things that were very similar.
Yeah.
So coming from someone that this scared the hell out of me when I was a child,
Right.
does not scare me now.
Okay, you want to go to your story of rewatching it with me and then realizing?
Yeah. Okay, I haven't watched it since I was a kid because it scared me that bad. I refused. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. I watched all of those. I've seen them hundreds of times, but not ever it. I saw it one time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sick, and I called Mike, and I'm like, "Can you bring over it?" Because I didn't have it. And he was like, "What?" I was like, "I want to watch it." And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, bring it on." So he brought it, and we watched the whole 4 hour or
3 hours 9 minutes.
Yeah.
whatever. Feels like forever. The whole movie in one sitting, and I looked at him and I was like, "What the shit?" What was I afraid of?
Yeah.
But I will tell you that still to this day, that if I go into a public restroom and it has the floor drain, I will switch stalls every time. And it's like something that's like mentally in my head. I just can't do it because of the shower scene.
Right.
I just can't. So I enjoyed it very much. I
Honey?
can't wait for more.
Okay, your take?
I'm kind of halfway.
Like me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember watching it on TV. I've read the book at least twice. The book is far more graphic, of course, because it's Stephen King. But being that the movie for TV series was made for TV, a hell of a lot of it was chopped to bits. So seeing it rebooted for the younger generation and the things that they changed in it, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? That didn't happen. No, that's not quite how it worked. It's just like any book. You read a book and you get attached to certain momentum of things, and then it's like, wait a minute. In the original, it was an alien. It wasn't this. It was, it was supposed to look this way when they killed it or hurt it, and these were the things that were supposed to happen. And I was expecting it, and I was kind of let down. I did end up falling asleep during, I guess, one of the scariest parts.
Yeah, when the full clown room shows up, she fell asleep,
He woke
which would have
me
been
up.
her scariest part.
Spoiler cut off now.
Yes. But
Sorry.
but it was the whole Chris closing her eyes because she didn't want to see it and was out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
But I see, that was one point there. I don't know what the book says, 'cause I haven't read the book. So I don't know if Richie was actually, like in the miniseries, afraid of werewolves, or if he's afraid of clowns, like in this one.
Neither
It's
really,
a simple
right?
Google.
Because that's who he was afraid of in the miniseries was werewolves,
It
because he
was- it
sees them
wasn't
down in
the
the
were-
boiler room.
It wasn't the werewolf.
But it wasn't the werewolf in the book.
Yeah.
So was it the clowns in the book? Or was he not scared of anything?
He was
Every
scared.
one of them had a signature fear.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
By the way, I want to just say thank you, Uncle Johnny, because you loaned me your Stephen King library, and I love you for it. But
Yeah.
I do have 3 questions that were posed to me by a lifelong fan of the book.
Okay.
I don't know if I just want to phrase them and then have their group answer.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to start with the least controversial and go forward.
Okay.
Okay, was there a house in this movie?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
a house that featured prominently was a big question he had.
Yes.
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 Yes, that is very true. And the house is creepy as hell.
Yes.
But I
It
didn't.
really is.
Which was kind of funny because when we first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, there's our house."
Yeah. Personally, I think the miniseries where the well is much creepier. Mm-hmm. Because this it made no sense for a well to be in the basement of a house. That's supposed to be for the town's water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, after those periods, whenever they were starting to put irrigation into places where people had ready access to water,
Right.
those places would be boarded up, and so it would just be like shoved off to the side, and like people wouldn't think twice about building it into a cellar. Like that, it wasn't.
Yeah.
an
Like
issue.
in what was it? The
Considering you live in Dublin, Texas, you should know that there's a whole lot of oversight that happens in relation to a sewer system.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
typically, when you see a well system, and especially around here, you see a well shack around it. They don't build your house around the well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we lived outside of Stephenville for a while, and we had a small building out in our backyard that held all the stuff to do the well water.
Yeah, but some of the fancier southern homes, they just built the house right over it, and they just kind of kept it down in like the basement.
Right, and I
Yeah,
can.
but if you look back at the part of the movie where they're looking at the old drawings of the town map,
Right.
and then the new map, and then the sewer laid
Right.
over it, the original well
What?
had a shack over it.
Yeah.
Right.
The house was then built
Over
much
it.
later.
yeah, much.
I don't know. I guess it just throws me because that's supposed to be like the well for the whole town or something.
Okay, what's your
It's
other?
an access point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point number 2. Is there any mention of alternate dimensions or the Crimson King
No.
No, not at all.
There's not in the movie, but in the book, yes.
in the
But
book?
that's the point. He's an avid
Yeah,
book lover.
I-
So the questions
The
are:
questions
were these
are
in the
from
film?
yes.
No.
Yes, it wasn't verbally mentioned, but
But
there
it
was
was
a lot
like-
of imagery.
Yeah.
It's about as. What surprised me is considering this was honestly, if the movie fails in any regard, because I really like it, but if it fails in any conception part of the filmmaking, it's that this thing was primed to be. We are doing the fans of the book a service, so we're like
Right.
addressing all the stuff that didn't get mentioned in the first time around.
Right.
And in the first half of the book, Pennywise takes over as narrator.
Yeah.
And he talks to the audience directly, and he says, "I am from another dimension. I am the eater of worlds." And
Right.
he lays out everything that's in there.
He's Galactus.
As a horror fan, I'm gonna read the book, but as a horror fan, like, the fear of the unknown is always scarier.
Oh yeah.
I think
Right.
so. Fourth wall break like that would be bad.
In a film,
Yeah.
I can so see why you would. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on a cutting room floor. Like, I would not be surprised if they had like a
But see,
6-minute scene.
there
They're like,
was some imagery that kind of hinted towards it, like when he's in his little dancing box. If
Yeah.
you notice the background to it, it's all like flames and kind of,
Like hell.
kind of, yeah. And
Yep.
then he opens his mouth and there's the 3 balls,
Right.
deadlights.
Which
So
The
was another
deadlights.
thing
Yeah.
that I was disappointed with was the fact that they did not mention the term deadlights.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
his deadlights. You know, that was the big thing about Henry in the miniseries was I saw his deadlights, and his deadlights turned my hair white, and all that stuff.
It was a big thing for Stan mainly.
Yes, that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
all right, and the third one.
And the third question.
Oh god, here we go.
Did the kids have sex in the sewers?
No, they
No.
did not.
Thank you.
But I know where you're going with this.
Thank God.
Because originally in the book, instead of like in the movie we just watched,
Right.
they cut their hands and held hands
Okay. Right.
to bond them together.
Right.
In the book,
In the book, they had an orgy.
they did.
Oh yeah.
The
Okay.
actually the blood
Actually.
the blood
that would be
brothers
more
thing
like a
is in the book,
gangbang,
right?
though, wouldn't it?
It's not an either or thing.
They do both.
They-
They do both.
Oath was in the original series.
Yes, but they they had a consensual gangbang, pretty much.
I was going to say, because she was the only chick, so...
Yes.
So they defeat Pennywise, they get lost in the sewers, and Beverly's suggestion to clear the clouds from their minds is she has sex with all of the boys.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yep.
Thus making them no longer innocent.
Yes, Stephen King has come out further explaining it because it's always kind of been a sticking point
Right.
with people. And he said his two quotes are, one, it's a symbolic representation of the transference from innocence to adulthood
Right.
in the wake of that.
I can see that.
I
yeah.
can see that. You had free reign to choose to portray that in any way you
Right.
wanted, but okay.
Which I think that's where they really went with Stan and the bar mitzvah in this one.
Yeah. And point two was he said it was, quote, a different time when he wrote the book.
Of course it was.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, the main part is how do you lose your innocence? You have sex, and then
Yeah.
you're done.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Most horror movies, what happens? They have sex, they die.
It's one of those things that the first time I ever heard about that was from someone who disliked the miniseries, and they were talking about things that weren't in there, and he backtracked immediately, but he said, and they didn't do blah blah blah, and I'm like, whoa, what? It's like, did you want that in a movie?
You wanted to see child pedophilia? But was it me?
HBO modern
Yeah. Was it me, or did it seem like every male that had interaction with Bevy in this one was pedophile?
Oh,
Yeah.
completely.
The pharmacist was like pedophile-ish.
Her father.
The father,
You look like Lois Lane.
exactly.
The entire theater cringed.
Yeah, yeah,
So I have a.
yeah. There was a uniform. Oh,
Oh yeah.
And the first time I introduced her dad, I said, that man needs to die.
Yes.
So I have a question for Chris then. So in the book, is her dad a dad having sex with her? Or is it just abuse like in the miniseries?
It strongly suggests, but doesn't point blank say.
which is strongly suggested in the miniseries.
Yeah, I was so happy they didn't go the full because like there's a lot of in your face stuff in this movie.
Yeah, and in the book it's like that as well.
That
but
was
it's like, wait a minute,
not
so
what in my face I wanted. I didn't want that in my face.
I actually think that the father in the miniseries was a little more pedophile-ish. Thought
Visually.
not-
It's what you.
instigated as opposed to straight up, "Are you still my girl?" kind of thing. You know, he was like, "I worry about you, baby. I worry about you a lot." And he'd run his fingers through her hair, and you're like, "Okay, there's something wrong here."
yeah.
I think the
like
worst
That was-
part
that-
for me with that whole scene was when he sniffed her.
Yeah.
You're still my girl.
After she bought the tampons, and
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
he
he's like,
he
"Wait,
plays with
are
her
you
hair,
still a
and
girl?"
he's like,
Yeah.
You're still my girl.
I'm like, oh.
I'm sorry, I'd be right like her. I'd be taking scissors and going, that's it. Every part he touched is gone.
I loved how cute her hair was after she rage cut it.
It was
Like-
so cute.
But isn't it like that in any movie where they rage cut their hair?
Yeah.
Empire
What is
Records.
that?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
She rage cut her hair to death. It
Yeah.
was gone.
yeah.
And then glued it to the floor.
I did see where the director tried to keep staples of the miniseries in there, like, you know, the silver
The bike.
bike,
Yeah.
the bike
I'm
silver.
glad they didn't change the timeline for it. Really.
They changed
What do you mean?
when it happened.
It
Like,
made it
they
30
did-
years later.
They didn't put it in modern day.
They
No.
kept it in
But-
the 80s.
They
Right.
couldn't
The
if they're
second
gonna go
movie,
back
the second
27
movie
years
will
later.
be in modern day.
Yes.
By that timeline.
Which makes you almost wonder, is this almost kind of a sequel to an extent? Because the original miniseries was set in the 50s, 60s. So 27 years later would have been in the
Well,
80s.
this movie came out 27 years after the miniseries.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can almost say it's kind of a sequel-ish kind of thing, even though it's supposed to be the original story.
It's definitely not the worst reboot I've ever seen.
No, not the rest reboot
No.
I've ever seen.
No.
Okay, so in Ben's research, whenever he's talking about the track record through history for
Right.
dairy, is possibly the Black Spot? Is that our original miniseries? because we don't get much discussion as to what the black spot is.
Right. I don't know. That was another change that they made in this one versus the miniseries. Because in the miniseries, Mike was the one that had all the research and stuff.
Yeah.
Because his dad had the book. And
Do you remember which one had the research in the book, Chris? So I gotta say, that was another one that I thought they were going to address. Mike didn't have a lot to do in the original miniseries. He had less to do in this movie.
Yeah, he had way less.
Like, I enjoyed his setup. Like, the way they had the setup, the characters, the stuff about his parents and all that. Which I'll say... I'll say his parents' backstory, whenever they revealed that the reason for his fear, because they showed the hands, like, going outside the door, and then he told the backstory, and you go...
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. But that makes it a whole lot creepier.
Yeah. It also made when he says I just have to go back to being an outsider. In the scene where it shows him and his grandfather, and he gives him the whole speech about you're either going to be an outsider or you're going to be one of those and points at the sheep.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he goes to town and he becomes a sheep.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But see, it was also his main staple in the miniseries was he was the one that said, "Let's make a pact. Mm-hmm. If it's not dead, we come back."
No, that's Bill.
It was Bill.
It was Bill.
Bill was in the miniseries that said that.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, so it was Mike that took on the one to come to call them all back.
Because remember, everybody left
except for
Mike.
him.
Yeah,
that's
He's
right.
the only one that didn't leave.
Okay, so
when
here's a question from the book I have. In the book, was Bill a writer, or was he more like in this version? Because in the miniseries, he was telling the stories around the campfire, and then he becomes a screenwriter.
Storyteller.
Right.
So was he the storyteller in the book, or was he not?
We don't know. Like, I think they left that up to be told later, so we didn't make assumptions.
They didn't typify him. Actually, they only said because everything he was doing was sort of creation related in regards to his guilt over Georgie.
Right.
Like the whole dam system thing he was building in the garage and everything, like to flood the pipes and all that.
Which was
stuff.
the other difference compared to him going in Georgie's room and the book flipping open and all that happening.
Yeah.
I vastly appreciated that there is not a single scare that is kept entirely from the miniseries in this movie. There, even if it is similar, they are different enough that it's going to surprise you.
Oh yeah.
The final way Georgie gets taken.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
We won't spoil that one.
No.
I think that was one of the most tense parts, waiting to find out.
Waiting to see what was going to happen because he's
Yeah.
talking and he's crying and the limb is missing and
So
We'll leave it at that.
say which one.
So I remember in previous podcasts, both of you were hesitant about Skarsgård as Pennywise. What do you think about it now?
It's the air conditioner.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
They're two different Pennywises. You know, I mean, I can't say that one was better than the other.
I'm not asking which one you prefer. You're
it.
down with him.
No, I'm down with him. I'm down with him as Pennywise. There could have been some other things. You know, I mean, he did a decent job. He needed to be a little more inviting.
Yeah.
Instead of being drooly rabbit teeth.
Yeah, the drool thing. That was another thing I wanted to ask you. Is that in the?
And I didn't get.
Drooling is just
I guess
he's not
he was
drooling
hungry.
in the book.
Yeah.
He's more enticing in the book. If
Exactly.
anything.
He's more
convincing.
What I would think.
And it's somebody you just
Tim Curry's
want to
Pennywise
go.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is you've got to realize that when he does get Georgie, he's talking to him and he's making him laugh and he's sweet and he's making him think of the circus and the popcorn and then
he's connecting more, but he doesn't put Georgie at ease as much as Tim Curry's.
No, exactly.
No, it did not. But I mean,
That's what I mean.
the thing is, but you got to look at it from when we were 8 years old.
Right.
If someone made us laugh, we were a little more at ease with them than
but
you
it
know.
wasn't.
Right.
But I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Georgie's laugh in this one was all that whole oh, ha, 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 yeah. Okay. It was more like, ha, 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 yeah.
So,
It's a very guarded.
hold on.
Yeah, it's very guarded.
This is probably going to be the most controversial statement I'll make in this entire thing.
Dun, dun, dun.
When
Really?
in relation to Curry versus Skarsgård. Curry is intimidating in a movie sense. That first scene with Skarsgård in the sewer drain, whenever he starts talking to Georgie, it felt like what I imagine a real-life encounter with a child murderer would feel like.
Yes.
Like, it put me very much more uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, yes.
as an adult.
There was
Okay,
lots
so-
of very unnerving.
Let's just put it this way. So, Tim Curry's Pennywise, great for the time era. It was very enticing. You know, if you were a kid back then, you'd pretty much be unguarded and be a more willing victim.
Right.
This Pennywise, he's much more
Animalistic.
Yeah.
more predator,
Yeah.
and very much more.
It was also, he seemed to lead with the fears
Yeah.
before he became Pennywise.
It's almost like he
In
was
front of them.
spicing them up.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
getting
You know,
those
Which is a quote
fear.
from the book. Because
Yeah.
it says
Yeah.
fear is like salting the meat.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
from
Pretty
the
much.
book.
The only regards I can think of in the miniseries off the top of my head where that was somewhat in play was with Stan. No,
Which one?
the father in the field. That wasn't Stan. That was the other one.
Ben.
That was
Ben.
Ben's.
Yeah, Ben seeing his
Yeah.
father
They
out there.
Yeah.
Who
They
was
didn't
the
go-
war hero that
They,
died.
Yeah.
they did not go into Ben's backstory.
No, it
Not
didn't.
at all.
Which I could do with
Other
the
than-
evil aunt.
Other than
Yeah.
we moved here. From where? From what? And why?
He's a new kid on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's really all we get. And one of the sad, other than he likes the new kids on
Don't
the
go,
block.
girl.
I like to imagine that he's like listening to it and like, I'm cool like them. I'm the new kid on the block here.
Don't go, girl.
There
That's
were
another
like
song from the.
80s references.
And
Yeah,
it's-
well, I'm probably the only one at this table who said they've seen New Kids on the Block.
You have.
in person.
Recently.
Yes.
Recently, as
Yes.
in just a few months ago.
That's because
Damn,
I had
Donnie.
to work and couldn't get the tickets. So
Oh,
yeah.
you didn't get to see Mark though.
I got to see Boys to Men. That's what I was happy about.
There you go. That's
No,
okay. Katie and I will go on the new kids on the cruise.
yeah.
This one seemed like it was
Totally.
more.
She'd be from
targeted.
NSYNC.
Instinct. Not backdoors
Yeah.
from no
That
backdoor
was the
boys.
only time I was ever allowed to listen to pop music was when I was in the 4th grade and No Strings Attached came out. And that's the only pop album I ever owned. And I mean ever.
From the couch, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
New Kids on the Block.
All right.
The new kids had it.
We're gonna have to bust your little cherry there.
Pardon?
I don't what? Say what?
It's okay. We do it all
I got
the
your
time.
staff right here.
Lulu, it was Starbucks. This one, it's gonna be New Kids on the block.
New Kids on the Block.
No kids in
Well-
the box. That's a really old school
girl.
boy band.
Girl. I can see it now. New Kids on the Block.
Although I did think it was funny that she opened the door and it had the poster,
And he
but
was shaking
nobody
his
else
head.
saw
Yeah.
it.
No.
Only
just
her.
Deb.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I could have done without the love triangle.
That was
Yeah,
that was a
that
little
was-
much.
weird.
I mean,
That's
you
a little
kind of
much
got
for
that in the
kids.
miniseries, but not to this
like-
extent.
sorry, not to that
It was
extent.
in the book, too.
It didn't weird me out, but
Although,
Paul, you're
okay,
in gray water.
okay, part one. When they're all at the no, it's part 2, isn't it? When they're all at the restaurant.
Yes.
Okay, part
The
2.
My
Chinese
boys.
restaurant, yes.
Okay, yeah, and she walks up, and the first thing she does is she plants one on Billy.
yeah.
Yes.
And, like, not just a kiss, like, oh my god. like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she gets in there.
But
and,
then later she realizes
What a
it was
handsome,
Ben.
what a group of handsome-looking men.
and
Yeah.
then she passes out.
Everything after knowing the sewer scene, everything she says in that miniseries is
It's
cringy.
icky.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
My boys.
I was just gonna say that's the lead off to that scene in the book. Her going, "These are my boys,"
Which
because she had them all.
so love triangle in the book. Okay, I understand that.
So
Did
then,
they have that moment right after the sewers in the book? because I was sitting there thinking,
Go read the damn book.
They probably didn't put that in the movie because it would have been a whole different rating.
We're just trying to figure out why they made the choices they did in this newest movie.
Well, think of it like this.
well, and
With everybody saying she's had everybody.
I know, it's Stephen King, honey. You'll get through it. It's
I'm not
okay.
a huge King fan. I
Yeah.
like his storylines. I don't like the way he
Blasphemer.
writes.
she likes his short fiction. I
I
read
do.
the.
You like
Enjoy.
his Bachman stuff.
She's going through the entire night
When he was
shift.
Richard Bachman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like I read it to her at night.
Yeah.
But
What the
I
fuck?
just
Why
got.
don't you read me?
What? I've tried reading you. You snore.
Because you don't read anything interesting. This is what I get. We're going to read a self-help book.
Anyway, maybe
like watching
that
news.
was their way in this film of stating that whole thing in the sewers at the end was the town saying she has all the boys.
Well, I think every one of them had their own reason why they're a loser. Which, in general, it could be a talking point for us because I know we probably were out. Is it safe to say we're all kind of outsiders in high school?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
When I went to class, I went inside.
Yes, you were.
Hey, geeks
But
and
see,
nerds
that's
showing
where
their beer, honey.
I find the difference between the two films is I feel in the miniseries when they had the whole building the dam scene, that was when they really bonded and became that losers club. You don't really get that feeling in this one because they're always on the run trying to go find Georgie.
No.
Right.
Well, this one, their bonding thing was cleaning up the bathroom.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
And cleaning up
which-
That
Ben.
was in the miniseries.
That was in the
And
miniseries,
cleaning up Ben.
except for she cleaned it up first in the miniseries.
It came
then it came back, and the only way it stayed gone is when the boys came in
She
and
didn't
helped.
reveal that till she was an adult.
Right.
She
Right.
might have tried it. Which that would be so frustrating if that much blood came back out after you. After you
It was
cleaned
very
it.
Carrie reminiscent for me
Yeah.
when she's
Yeah.
covered in blood and on
The
the
shower
floor.
scene or the prom scene?
prom
The
scene.
prom scene.
Oh, which then there's another relation because she had just bought tampons. Plug it up.
There were lots of
That was a funny
homages
comment
to
she made.
several
Yeah.
King works in this one.
Yeah.
And
I thought the
Georgie,
special effects and everything were great. They weren't overdone, but the cheesy parts
where there was
cheesy
supposed
on
to be cheese.
purpose.
Where it was supposed to be cheese, there was cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know. But
I don't know. It seemed like this one was more Bill driven than loser club driven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
very
Especially
much
when it
so.
came to Mike and Ben. And
Ben had the brunt of the opening.
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a 2-hour, 15-minute movie, so you're gonna kind of forget it by the end of it.
Yeah.
But Ben had a sizable portion of like the first half hour because he was
Yeah.
doing all the research stuff.
Right.
He had the moment with Beverly. And
right,
all that.
right. Also,
Bowers
also
and-
not sure if I like the whole she figured out who wrote the poem this early.
Yeah.
She didn't regard it though.
Yeah, it's not super important to her. I mean, it is, but it's something that she's gonna let go. Like, obviously, because she went back and kissed Bill before she left, knowing
Right.
she may not ever come back.
She said goodbye right after she kissed him, though.
Yeah.
Yes, she
I mean,
did.
you can
Because
read,
she was
you
leaving.
can read a
Right.
couple of ways into, but in film language, you can read a couple of different ways into that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lot of, in my opinion, newer film cheats per se in this one. You know, like the whole, oh, there went the, Bandero of bolts down the well. You know, that's just kind of passe and cliche in anything where you're going to have to fight somebody.
Right.
I'm a little confused as what they're going to do with Bowers. Because, in the miniseries, he comes back and...
Right, because Pennywise frees him from the psychiatric ward to come back and kill him again.
But what is he going to do? Free him from the well?
Well, I mean,
What is
Is
this,
that
the
gonna
ring?
is that gonna save us from a Rottweiler head on a clown body? Because that was the stupidest shit.
That was pretty bad.
so I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory about it. Okay, so Bowers falls down the well, but we don't actually see him die. We
No.
know that the well is really deep, but we don't know how deep. So he may fall down there and land on potentially something soft. And then he is technically
Child
in the
bodies.
sewer.
He could be
yeah,
in,
sure, child
like,
bodies.
What is
Right.
it?
And
But then
so-
they've set it
Okay,
up for
but-
if he does not die, he'll be in prison instead of psychiatric ward.
I'm
Because he killed his
confused.
dad.
In what world do you think
Well,
a
unless-
child's decaying body is soft?
This is true.
Well, maybe he landed on the float cloud.
It's a
floating ship.
It is a gravity-based sewer system, and he fell 3 stories. So there's a good chance there's a lot of water down there.
There better be a hell of a lot of water for him to fall and be able to get up and walk away.
Well, and here's the thing, is he's in the sewer with it, right? And so we know there's going to be a part 2, so obviously it isn't dead, because that's the way the story goes.
Right.
So, he is in the sewer with it. It has almost complete, what's the word I'm looking for? We're all
Control
powerful.
over reality.
All powerful?
Omnipotent?
Yeah, there we go.
Omnipresent.
No, omnipresence where you're everywhere at once.
In the sewer,
okay, so he is all omnipresent, and he is
omnipotent
within the sewer, because that is his domain.
Right.
So he has the ability to save Bowers.
But he's weakened because of the kids' strength and unity.
But he may use that to...
Not at that point.
He may see it as Bowers as his only...
He fell right after Mike's scuffle.
Right.
And then just before the fight starts in earnest.
But then again, is that also going to mean that maybe Bowers... Because he said that Bill was going to be his final one until then he could go to sleep.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going to go down and eat Henry and then can go to sleep.
Exactly.
I'm fine with Bowers being dead.
Yes. See, honestly, it's one of those things of we don't know which way it's going to go because of the fact it's a reboot and because of the fact they're trying to make it so different with similar aspects to a certain extent to the miniseries.
Right.
But given the time lapse between everything, who knows? They may just decide, oh, he went down a wheel and that's the end of him.
And see, my biggest thing was that he has that time in the sewer with it where he could, he sees the deadlights. He has the ability to come in contact with it.
Right.
And then stumble out of the sewer. Then take the Volver, his dad, and then all the other children that died. And he'll blame it on this thing he saw in the sewer, which means he's going to a psychiatric hospital. Yeah. So that means that puts us back on track.
Yeah.
True.
He was locked up. It wasn't like it was a minimum security.
No.
Hospital.
It was extremely locked up.
It was a maximum security.
Yeah.
Mental institution.
Bars everywhere.
Were all of the other children dead? It didn't actually show
it didn't.
Children being dead.
Other than they weren't moving.
Georgie is very dead.
He could not have survived the arm being pulled off like that without immediate
other than Georgie, though.
Oh, they're. I mean, going from the book, they're dead.
They're dead.
Right.
Well, he said he devoured them. Yeah, but he said he devoured them.
Then why were they all floating?
Because they were just
weren't
parts.
all whole.
Saving them.
They were parts. They were not
See,
whole.
that just threw me right there.
She was floating.
Yeah, she was floating.
Because he got her in the deadlights.
He's a I mean,
she was
he
bait
had
to get the rest of them there.
He is messy in this version.
Yeah.
Extremely.
It took me a second to figure out with Ben's little encounter in the library. It took me a second to figure out whenever he was like flipping the pages or whatever, and he saw the kid's head. I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be after the explosion. That kid's head flew in the tree, and then his body was elsewhere. I'm like, okay.
But if you look carefully, it looks like Georgie's face.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I don't know.
There were a lot of weird imagery type things.
But I'm sorry, if I see Easter eggs in a freaking library, I'm not going to freaking follow them, especially if they're smoking.
Especially if they're smoking.
Yeah. I don't know.
And a headless corpse standing in front of me? Oh no, that's it. Game over. I'm out.
If I hadn't read the book, and I went to see this version first, I'd had a lot more questions than I did when I watched the first miniseries.
Right.
Because I think the miniseries was so long and the way they intertwined the flashbacks versus just the whole story up at once for the kids.
The miniseries explained things in a completely different way than the book.
Yeah.
Right, but if we were to have everybody that was in the theater with us tonight, if we had handed them a questionnaire and one of the questions was, what are the deadlights? Not a one person could have answered it.
No.
Because they didn't mention it. They just showed the 3 balls in his throat, and that was it.
Okay.
And unless you read the book, you wouldn't know what they were.
All the miniseries has for you is the word deadlights.
No.
No, and it kind of
Henry
goes...
says,
I wanted to be there.
And Henry
That
says...
is the definition.
Henry says, I saw his deadlights, and it turned my hair white.
Yeah.
Means it scared
him.
him.
Which then you saw the giant bright thing going down the tunnel, shining its lights out of the tunnel. Those are the deadlights.
Okay.
But 3 balls in a guy's throat, I mean, I'm thinking you're a pedophile.
It was mainly when he was looking at Beverly that got you with the lights. And
that's why I think that that's an introduction to the Deadlights, and that we will get more experience and explanation of the Deadlights in the second half, because we really get the explanation of Deadlights from Bowers.
Yeah. It's true.
But
now we don't know if he's dead.
If they're going to do the info dump, if they're going to do the info dump, I much prefer they put it in part 2, even though it was in part 1.
Right. So here's my question.
But they didn't even mention the term. I mean, at least give me the term so I have something to ponder about.
That wasn't till later in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my questions to you are: what was your favorite part?
Favorite or the part that disturbed us the most?
No, your favorite.
Okay.
The clown room. The clown room.
That disturbed you the most too?
No, I liked that the most. And this is from someone who doesn't particularly care for clowns. Yeah. I'm not afraid of them like I was before, but it was good.
It was good.
It was good. It was one of my favorite parts.
I think my favorite part had to be the whole history lesson in Ben's room.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was far better done than the miniseries.
Yes.
Oh yes, much better done.
Yeah. So that had to be my favorite part.
You know what? Looking back at it wasn't Ben with all the research. It was Mike.
It was
because they rescue Mike from Bowers, and they're out, and after they're throw
at
the
quarry
rocks
or the junkyard or whatever,
he shows them his books.
Right. Which then Pennywise starts flipping through it.
The first scene with Mike in the miniseries is he's presenting it in class, and the teacher says, "Oh, thank you for that rather morbid history lesson."
Yeah. Well, so he was the one that did the research, not Ben.
Yeah. It would make a lot of sense for someone else to be the originator of the research, because Mike is still sort of the outsider. He's the one that lifts out of the group the easiest. Yeah. So the group disbands after that summer, correct? And Mike supposedly goes back to his farm where they live as outsiders.
Right.
And so the only time that he has known friendship is in that summer.
Right.
So if he somehow gets this book that was once Ben's, part of this group that he holds dear, which he obviously does.
Right.
That is how he calls. That would be something he held on to for dear life. And how he remembers it and remembers to call everybody. In the
miniseries, he ends up going to work for the library, which keeps him right there in town.
Are you going to cry?
God.
I'm sorry.
I just... Reading between the lines on what she just said is like, okay, the next 30 years, Mike, you have no friends. Yeah. You're not going to communicate with anybody.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
you and your sheep, damn it. That's all you have.
That's why he works in the library. There's no friends in the library.
Well, he may not work.
You're going to lose all your friends when Grandpa goes.
Anyway.
Grandpa's from the X-Files.
Fuck, Kate. It's so damn dark. Shit.
Take
a Valium and get over it.
It wasn't exactly a bright side movie.
No.
Not a whole lot of bright side in this one.
Well, had Mike not been chased down the hill and stumbled into the lake where they were skinny dipping,
they might all be dead.
He probably would have joined the group.
I
like the whole rock fight scene.
Yeah, those hits were hard.
I liked it better in this one than I did in the miniseries, because it was definitely...
Other than the fact that I didn't like the reciprocal ammunition.
Right.
Where they were throwing them back at the kids. Because in the miniseries, there was no retaliation.
Yeah, but I really liked it when they hit Richie.
I like it where they throw back, because they have They have this whole, we can beat them up because, they're the big bads. And then suddenly they realize it's this group of, 6 kids who are all throwing rocks at the 3 of them, and there's no way they're going to be able to keep up with them.
And the one they gotta run. And the one kid only belched once to give homage to Belch.
Yeah.
Right.
So you really didn't know any of the group there other than Henry, where in the miniseries you knew some of their names.
Right.
I like Stephen King as an author. One Kingism that can fuck right off and die is bullies.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you say, oh, the next one we're going to redo is sometimes they come back. I'm like, screw off.
Right.
They came back again and for more. That's fine.
But if you think about it, we did have the bullies, growing up in middle school and in high school, and even, in adult life, we've had and dealt with bullies. Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty much an ongoing, perpetual thing in life.
It is. I liked this version's bully far better for being real.
Yeah.
Was it the mullet?
Where
it was the mullet, wasn't it?
calls him the paper man.
Well, it's a this one addresses the cycle of violence, and it also has his actions, the way he behaves, is far more. Like, you can see him going into a psychiatric facility because he has complete anger, like no control.
Well, it's like they kind of did some research on serial killers prior to, because he leads that path from bullying to punching to
killing an animal,
trying to kill a cat,
to then trying to kill a cat, to
so I mean, killing the husband, the father, and I almost said the husband.
He is so like annoying and unnerving every time he just every time he breaks out
sociopath.
Yeah.
Because like he spits out every curse word every time and all that stuff.
What do you think of your friend now, little paper boy?
When he gets scared, he crumbles.
Yeah.
Just
when he gets scared.
Just like a paper man.
Yep.
Not that I really want to introduce the subject, but I did notice that they kind of stepped back. They introduced the race thing, but they never addressed it. Like, it was never said, but it was shown.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and
that's
Henry.
like less than the miniseries on the top.
Yeah, because the miniseries went pretty far out there towards.
But they were in the 50s in the miniseries,
right?
So.
Right.
But they
did.
did.
80s
But they did. He did say when they had burned down the house that his only regret was he wished he had done it.
Right.
Well, that's supposed to be your linkage to the serial killer mentality.
Yeah. Well, it's also linked to the small town racism.
Yes.
Right.
Which kind of throws you a little bit.
On him to begin with.
Yeah.
But it kind of throws you a little bit because, it's all set in Maine, and Maine really didn't have that whole southern kind of, we're different, and I'm going to treat you this way because of so.
They did up until about the 1930s, but in the 1930s, the industries really started to collapse, and so both the white and the blacks, particularly in Maine, were in a similar boat. So they began to become comrades in this issue.
We're all on a boat.
By the 50s, they're pretty okay with the integration.
I was going to say, because Maine was part of the North, which was trying to get the freed slaves and let them just be people, which Maine was part of that. That's why it kind of throws me. I mean, I can see some people are raised with that hate.
Still a small town.
Yeah. So
yes,
I just don't see it as vibrant as you would say Derry, Texas, or something.
Right.
Then
Derry,
you can
Alabama.
really, Derry, Alabama, Derry, Mississippi.
Derry, Texas wouldn't be spelled E-R-Y.
No, it would not.
Derry, Texas.
Okay,
Derry.
so
we spell Derry, Texas, D-U-B-L-I-N.
Can I out you?
You're gonna out?
out
Oh
me.
goodness!
Are you coming out?
Is this that kind of? This is not that kind of show.
So, the entire movie, we're either holding hands or she had her arms wrapped around this one, wrapped around my arm.
I was wondering why your arm was purple.
Okay. So, do you want to guess during which scenes did my arm get kind of numb from being squeezed?
I would say the clown room, probably. No.
No,
I would say the scene where he fell through the floor and busted his arm.
That was one of them,
That was
but
close.
it's not the main one.
And I would have
The
to
broken arm
say
was never
Yes.
where the boat went down into the drain.
nope. I have a feeling it's when the dad is touching her hair. And
That was a cringe.
Yeah, that was a
Consider
cringe one.
where I
But
was.
this one, but
Was it
I
the one
think it
where he
was the
came
one at the
charging at the
end.
camera? Where he's like, ah!
The
that happens
one-
in the scene.
The one at the end that we're not going to talk about.
No.
Really?
No.
I think
Okay.
the projector.
So Ben's
down the wall.
introduction to it in the basement of the library.
Oh, because you work.
I work
Oh,
in
yeah,
those stacks.
Oh,
My
the archives
job is organizing those stacks.
of archives.
So it takes me just long enough to the point where, like, all of a sudden I get a vice-like grip on my arm, whenever I like realized, oh yeah, this is a library.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't, like, for April Fools or something, put eggs on the stairs down there?
Eggs wouldn't be the issue. It'd
Smoking
be all
eggs?
I think it's the claustrophobia of those racks.
Right.
On top of knowing there's something after you.
Yeah.
And,
So we can get some of those hollow eggs and put some dry ice in it.
Right.
Yeah,
it was.
So
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't make a dead body for you. And
No.
just
What if we made a paper mache like headless thing and hit it down there with some dry ice in it, and it's like, oh god! I wish you could see this face. I wish you could see this face. This is like a I am going to murder you. Yeah.
A bunch of red balloons down there.
We love you, Katie.
We do have lots of children's memorabilia.
So definitely not going to send a bouquet of red balloons to Katie.
So second moment was after Bowers falls and they're in the sewers.
Yeah.
After the first appearance of Pennywise trying to get, I guess it's the painting. It's the second appearance of the painting.
Oh, where it's sucking on
His
Stan's
face?
head or whatever?
Yeah. So
Where it's after him.
she's got her arm around me, and she's got her arm around this arm again, and it takes me probably a couple minutes to notice, but she is doing this. Like, just petting my arm, and it's getting faster and faster. And I didn't say anything, but she went like 5 minutes doing that. My arm just like started getting on fire, heated up from the friction. It was a packed theater anyway, so I'm already sweating. And I'm like, oh god.
And see, everybody here had a date except for me.
Yeah.
I was all alone.
Date.
I was all no, I like it. Don't be all. I liked it. I was having fun.
And
My
I look
husband
back.
does not do
I look
scary.
back. We didn't get to
so-
sit together, so I look back and I'm like, "Oh, there's Paul and Katie. Where did Tim and Monica go?" Then I look back and then I see Monica lean towards Katie talking. I was like, "Oh, there they are."
Yeah.
And we had to sit front.
We had to sit
But
front.
but the three of us got to sit together.
Yes, that's true.
And I had an actual empty seat next to me.
You did?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to go get a drink, and some lady comes in and goes, "Excuse me," goes and sits in the seat next to where she would be. And then Heather comes back, and I'm like, "You think she fell asleep in the bathroom?" And
I got in line with Tim.
and I was like, "Oh, there you are." And then the lady stands back up and goes, "I'm sorry, thought both these seats were empty. Now I'm going to go find 2 seats."
Sorry, we just
Find
got
your
one.
own damn seat.
Right?
This is my seat. I told Tim, I said, I hope they don't let anybody get my seat. No.
I just remember during that whole clown scene, I was just like, "Oh, like clowns, yay!"
You closed your eyes and then you
remember
snoozed.
closing
She did.
my
She was
eyes,
like,
and then
and
him
Mike
going,
goes, I can hear Mike go. I can hear Mike go. Come on, honey. Look. And she's like, no. And then it was
and I remember
perfect.
him going, "Honey, look, there's clowns," and I remember saying, "No, I'm good, no clowns," and that's
Okay, I had to go back to the whole difference in Pennywise thing. Which one do you think had the creepier laugh?
The new one.
the new
You think
one.
so?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
100%. The laugh was much creepier
I'm
on
sorry, it was much more creep factor.
It was different, but Tim Curry's laugh still sticks in your head.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Tim Curry's
Because I think
beep,
that plays
beep,
off
better.
really well when they get into the adult one, when he's showing Bill that Stan had killed himself. Huh, look at Billy.
Curry's is a mocking laugh.
Yeah.
Whereas the new one is
Was
just
a creepy laugh.
delighted.
Delighted.
Yes.
That's the word.
Like he doesn't. It's almost like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
No, he's like
It's almost like a child's laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which. So, this book is related. Like this book, one thing that's not related in the book, that it actually is related to, is that it's a Dark Tower novel.
Really?
Yes. Okay.
It's accepted canon that it is the son of the Crimson King.
Which is hence the question that they mentioned in Crimson King.
Right.
Are you a puppeteer?
No, that's her robot dance. She was getting off onto the new kids on her, in her head.
Reach around.
Yeah.
Far.
It's about a reach around.
It's,
What?
it's reference without a diatribe. It's what I've heard.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, yes, but not in the way it's portrayed.
No
They're not
fucking way.
Similar.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I would never call it like Dark Tower 3.5
Oh,
or
fuck
anything.
no. There's
no.
no way.
Well,
It doesn't fit into
But
that
he's
storyline.
he's made them all like related,
Intertwined, yeah.
intertwined because Beverly and Richie show up in.
The
what
one
book
thing
is
that
that?
I did like though is there's one
Well,
scene
didn't
where
the Dark Tower
he's-
series come way after it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it plays significant role in the series.
So then he thought about several stories and went, "Oh, well, it came from." So I'm gonna write about this and.
Oh, wait, that's right. Beverly and Richie are in the JFK book, 11/22/63.
So here's the thing. There's a scene where, in this new one, where it kind of throws back to the book, where it hints at it being an alien, in the fact of his mouth elongates and his eyes roll back, and if you notice, they get shaped more almond-like and
Yeah.
more.
I'm an
Spider?
H.P. Lovecraft fan to
So-
the core.
Yes, you
I
are.
love the teeth.
Me too.
Yeah.
I
The teeth was
The
amazing.
gaping maw.
Do
like,
you
I
know
was like, oh.
when it first happened? You know what I thought? Anglerfish.
Yes.
It's the first thing I saw.
Yep.
And
Yes.
and
But
that's
then it
the-
had that the rose.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
shark at that point.
Yeah.
Nah.
An angler shark.
Yeah.
I was
Ooh.
thinking, I was thinking a tiny concentrated version of the things that swallow or are going to swallow Luke in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Oh, the
sandworm.
Yeah.
The Rancor.
Yeah.
Halfway
Rancor,
through
right?
your sentence, I thought you were about to reference the
No,
Langoliers.
that was
I did
the-
too at first.
Nope,
the
nope,
things that
nope.
swallow. I'm like,
The Rancor
no,
had the
no,
multiple
God,
rows of
no,
teeth.
No, the
no.
Rancor was the big monster that he dropped the gate on.
Right. Didn't he have multiple rows of teeth?
No.
No. The sandworm.
Are you-
Sandworm and Luke Skywalker. What?
Yes, where they're
And-
about to push him in.
Remember
You're
he
talking about-
and,
Jedi?
and that's
Sarlacc
that's
pit.
when
Sarlacc
yes,
pit.
that's
Sarlacc pit.
that's
Oh,
when
okay.
That's when
They-
Han is blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And he
pushed
goes,
in
Boba
Lando.
Fett, where?
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking,
Sarlacc pit.
He's a
Yeah.
Trekkie. You must excuse him.
I'm all over the place whenever it comes to
Yeah.
interstellar
I-
worlds.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Interstellar and Arrival.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
those are the two fandoms.
yep. They are the two.
Star what?
Yeah, just Star. Just say Star.
Just if you're talking about outer space, I'm in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Space, supernatural horror.
Make it so, Chewbacca.
That's why you had a sparkly cake.
All right.
So, yeah. All right, so final thoughts.
Definitely worth the watch.
Definitely
Yes.
worth it. Gonna see the next.
Go
Absolutely.
spend the money.
Can't wait.
No.
Yeah.
Don't take your kids unless you
No.
want to punish them.
I plan on taking my children later to see this.
Unless
My
your
kids
children.
have already seen it.
Your
they
kids
saw
are-
it before we did.
My kids
and we
are
were all
different.
like,
Yeah.
they
My-
came
my-
in
my-
and we
Take
were
my
like,
kids.
don't tell us
No,
anything.
your children are small. My
Yeah.
children are not small.
So-
And they've seen the original.
I don't know.
It.
I don't know what a good age is, though.
Well, see, the girls...
It depends on your.
okay,
It depends on your child.
Here's the
I would
thing.
guess.
The
if
girls
they're very
saw
mature,
the original, and they were like around
would you
10.
let Shaylin watch this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Has Shaylin seen the original?
Yes.
Okay.
She actually
She
loves
was,
it.
she
Okay.
was 9
Yeah.
when she saw it.
And
Yeah.
Shaylin is currently how old?
She is
13.
currently 13.
Okay.
And Charlie is 12.
And
Okay,
our-
so 12, 13 is
So
Yeah.
here's the
decent.
thing.
It's
But
definitely
it has to be, you have raised your children
correctly.
Correct.
to
Right.
have this understanding that this is not real, and you know,
Right.
And I got really lucky to have Chris and Mike in my life for a long
Aw.
time because Charlie got old enough where he was scared of things.
Yes.
And so I call Chris. Well, so I call Chris and I'm like, "Hey Chris, come turn Charlie into what he's scared of." Wait, what?
I just help him kind of
And
face
so
the fears.
he would.
It's pretty much.
I think the first one was zombies.
Yeah.
And so she turned him into a zombie. He's like, "Oh, this is just makeup." And then the other one was, it was like a vampire,
Werewolf.
a werewolf. She turned him to lizard man.
Yeah.
She's turned him into so many things, and now he realizes it's just makeup and masks.
And see,
Yeah.
with
Right.
And that's what I don't want him to be afraid of.
Right.
Things,
You know, and
because
with-
it's not.
Monica's and Tim's girls, we did it slowly because they're a lot
They're a lot younger than the rest
So
of
we
our
started
children.
out with like the fake blood and letting them know that it's yes, you have real butt, this is not real blood. This is what it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rebecca would be all about it.
She's been around.
Except she would repeat the fuck word.
Yes.
Every day from
And
now till.
see, you also have to
And dick.
remember.
She'd say fucking dick a lot.
A lot.
Rebecca is how old?
Rebecca is
3.
3.
Yeah.
But she's also been around us when we've done makeup for haunted houses too.
Right.
So
And
she's
Halloween
seen
and-
people go from normal to being looking scary, and she knows it's not real.
Yeah.
Right.
Michaela is the one that is very.
Isn't she the one that freaked out at
Timid.
the blood after we shot the film at your house?
And the
Yes.
blood moon. It was the blood moon.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
The blood is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to go
The
play
moon
with
is
the moon.
the moon is bleeding.
Yeah, the moon is bleeding.
So I need to clean the blood off the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was glad that she wasn't really freaked out. She was more like, oh, we have to
Concerned.
clean it up.
She was
Yeah.
concerned. We have to
You
clean
know,
it up.
we have to clean it up. So mommy doesn't.
So-
No, but our oldest two,
I
they're
still keep
they're
finding
20.
blood spots all over my kid.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how. We've cleaned it lots of times.
It's
I don't
You
know
need to
how
have a
either.
group come and clean it.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta have
in
that.
blood.
You gotta have that bonding experience cleaning that room.
Yeah, play some Cure. Get some,
Well, and like our two oldest, they
It
they
takes
saw
6
it
different
last
ways
night.
to clean a room.
Our oldest is 20 and our middle one is 16, and they both saw it last night, and it was kind of a contest of who saw it first. And our middle one just happened to got the last two tickets for the
Krista got the last 2
7:15.
tickets at the 7 o'clock showing. So when Athena showed up, they were like, "Sorry, we're sold out.
And she was
You have to come back at the 10:40 because the rest of them are sold out too."
yeah. And so
This
it
really
was
isn't
kind of funny
Athena's
because
speed, though.
No,
it really
she
isn't.
went. So as soon as she got home, she was like, "Worst decision I ever made to go see this movie," and I was like, "Well, I guess put Crowley, Devil Dog, back into our Baby Cujo."
Baby Cujo.
Baby
Baby
Cujo.
Cujo back
Mine's
in there with
Devil
your
Dog.
sister, and she's like, "No, he's sleeping with me."
So the thing that kills me about this is that I guess I'm happy it's doing so well, but there's a lot of people that aren't into horror that decided to go see this.
Yes,
There
it
were.
was the hype.
It's a nostalgia thing.
But
Yeah.
here's
I
another
didn't
thing.
realize that. I
It's
didn't
an
realize
80s thing.
nostalgia trumps people's innate
Yeah.
like.
Fear.
Why
Oh
do
yeah,
you
we got to
think
go see the '80s
period
thing. You know?
pieces do so well in theaters, like Passion of Christ and The Help and all that? They're period pieces that these people didn't necessarily live in, or if they did live through, they want to rekindle and remember. So that's why period pieces
But
are
not-
so phenomenal.
Well, why do you
right
think?
now.
I think that was part of the big reason why Stranger Things is done when
Yes.
it's done.
But
Yeah.
my age, and I would guess from what you were saying at dinner is like your age too, is our age group. We were the right.
At the line.
Right at the
Right
right,
at the
age
right
to like
line.
catch it on TV.
Yes.
The first time it was, I was 6 years old when I saw this thing.
I was 8.
Yeah, it was like watching that on TV,
When
and
you-
I didn't even understand what a miniseries was. So I watched part 1.
Shit, should we go get our cane and
It was
walkers
90,
now?
right?
I'm guessing.
90, right? I was 10.
1990.
I was
Yeah.
10.
So like, yeah, so I didn't even understand what a miniseries was. Stan slits his wrist in the bathtub, and I went 3 years thinking that was the end of the movie until it came to video, and then I was like, wait a minute, why is this so long? There's 2 video
Oh,
tapes.
So I'm guessing that now
I
that
think a lot
we've
of it
established
is
age thing
the
here.
original was
Right?
so good and has built up that cult type following for it
And I
that now some
Everybody's
of the
heard
younger
it.
kids that want to see it because it's got that following.
And because most parents are like, you're not watching that movie. It's
That
not
too.
happening. You can't see this movie. It's like
They're
the
like, yeah,
you
I'm
can't
gonna go.
see it.
that
I'm
and-
going. Damn it!
you
This
know-
is I'm going.
I think our oldest did read the book.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we have they pretend not to be nerdy and geeky, but they are highly intelligent girls, and they do read a lot. And a lot of the books that they read, we've read. So,
There is a sci-fi crossover whenever you get the book.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And they
But
are
that's
completely
the reason why
sci-fis.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre really wasn't that good, and the Halloween remakes are all. The new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You should see Mike's face.
He was saying the remakes, the new remakes
Oh.
of them.
What's the original one?
No,
The remakes, that's
the
why
remake.
they're
You
doing
farted
it.
in his
You missed. You missed.
face.
Did you crop dust him over there, Tim? Come on now.
I hear, the ones that weren't good, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like,
You missed. He did say the word "the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre" before that.
and then my question was, which one? There's like 8 of them.
The remakes.
Okay.
That have been coming out recently. They're doing really well in theaters because the originals did well.
No.
Well, it's
Not
not only
because they're good.
but see,
They're catching a
what-
new generation.
Well, what
that's
Hollywood's
all it
doing is they're
Yeah.
recapping
Those
on these-
trailers that we got before this movie, I was like, nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. Like, I read Ready Player One. I love Blade Runner, but even so,
Really? I haven't read Ready Player One.
Oh, Athena has, and she's so excited for this film.
It's a
it
good
looks
book.
amazing.
It's a good
I
book,
just-
but it is pop culture orgasm.
All
Yeah.
The
80s,
book.
90s
Now,
culture.
did
Do you still
anyone
have the book?
now did anyone here catch in the
One that did
trailer
jump.
I think it's
where the giant guy
Figures.
jumps up and shoots Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you catch Jason is in that? Freddy
Yep.
Krueger was in that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
The DeLorean was in that.
The
Yeah.
Iron Giant.
Iron
Iron
Giant.
Giant.
was in that.
There was a lot of
A
stuff
lot of it.
in
A
there.
lot of it.
Yeah, but
I think
every
the-
scene was like, okay, 80s, 90s, 80s,
Okay,
90s.
we're
Yeah.
spoiling the spoilers.
I am not,
Seriously, people.
I am not a Ready Player One kind of girl. I'm not
I'm
a
gonna see that one.
gamer.
I'm ready
not,
to
that's
go
just
see
not my
Blade
thing. I've
Runner,
never-
though.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to like the new Blade Runner. I'm
think it
definitely
will be
not
good.
going to enjoy Flatliners. Not
I
at all.
could- I
The
could-
No,
one
I'm
I'm
not
kind
going.
of looking forward to is Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that epic mustache.
That's
I was
because of the
trying.
mustache.
I was
And
trying.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, well,
no.
I'm gonna go see that with Shaylin just
The
because she
thing was-
has a thing for Thor.
The thing is that the very first time I saw that trailer was not this movie. It was several movies ago.
Right.
And I was trying to remember the name of it. And I was telling Mike about the trailer I had seen. And I was
Christie.
like, oh my God, this guy had this epic mustache. And it was
Yeah.
amazing. And I'm like, Mike. I'm like, watch for the mustache. And he gets to the end. He was like, oh yeah.
And see, here I'm like, I'm watching this, and she goes, "It's awesome! It's an epic mustache." And I'm thinking, Perot.
Yeah, Poirot.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
Hercule
so this is
Poirot.
Perot. Yes, they're doing a movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is
not right.
This is not right. This is Orient. Holy shit! This is Orient Express.
And then she gets to the end. She was like, oh yeah, mustache.
I was like, yeah, there's a mustache.
Mustache.
So
Johnny Depp.
So there's an
Johnny Depp
interesting
does not have the
sociological
mustache.
phenomenon whenever it comes to nostalgia. We've been talking a lot about nostalgia and how that is the turn of movies of
Yes.
late and TV
And fashion.
Everything is nostalgia, and a lot of that has to do with a generation that is now rejecting their current circumstances and really prefer to live in the past. So,
Well, given
they-
the state of the circumstances,
Well,
don't
it's-
you
it's-
think
it's
that
this,
it's the better of the two?
It's this whole new mindset that comes with this generation that wants to separate themselves from reality and to do so indefinitely instead of for the extent of a movie
Well-
or for reading a book. And in doing so, we have this new nostalgia kick. That's how you're reaching the younger millennial audience.
But every generation's like that.
I
Every
was about-
generation
Oh, yeah.
refuses to bunk the system
The-
in their own way.
But millennials
So-
don't have that connection to those periods. We didn't live through them. So
No.
we only see them as the times when everyone had jobs and everyone could buy houses and all the
But
blissful
that's the
childhood.
People
disillusion
could do
of
that
the
shit in
new
Reaganomics.
millennials.
Exactly. And that's the reason that it's selling so well.
But social
True.
social theory says all this stuff comes on a cycle, and in
Yes.
general, it
Right.
does. That's the reason
Right.
the '90s are starting to pop back in.
Yeah.
because we're getting to the
Because
tail end of
well,
the
and
'80s.
if you
But
looked
millennials
at,
are not technically 90s kids.
but
They
if
say
you,
they are
Millennials,
on
But if you
social
they
look
media.
sure do because they tag
I was
when
born
they
in
were
1997. I'm a '90s kid.
Born. No, sir.
You have to live through the entire decade. Before
But if you look at
get-
the 90s,
does that count?
the 90s
No,
was
you're on the
almost,
line.
but the 90s was almost a re-envisionment of the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, '70s.
Now,
70s
and
definitely.
then
The music
now you're
was
into
Well,
now you're
maybe
into
late
the
60s.
80s because everything's coming back 80s and
Seems like we're going backwards.
What's weird is you almost have the pop culture with the regular culture.
Yes.
Because I mean, the '80s were the greed decade.
Yeah,
it was
right.
not a
Always
great.
it was all about
it was-
consumption in the
it was
80s.
not a
Yeah.
great social social
No.
or
American
political
Psycho.
time.
that was
No.
that was almost the epitome of
It was the
consumerism.
it was the resurgence of the baby boomers going, okay, let's get back to the 50s. The 50s were great.
yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Anyways, okay,
But yeah,
moving on.
moving on.
We've
All
gotten
right.
a little off track.
We did.
Yeah.
Let's get back on.
But we went full circle. Now
Yes,
we
we
know
did.
why they went to the 80s.
There we go.
It.
Right.
Yes,
There
that's
we
right.
go.
It was the
There we
new,
go.
There was the new 50s.
Yes.
So way to
80s to new
catch two
50s,
different
you know.
generations at this
Yeah.
point.
Orange is the new black. I mean, come on.
2017 is the new 1980. I mean,
There you
come
go.
on, now, that's just how it is.
I have a good question to end this on that everybody can get
okay.
engaged in. So Pennywise is chasing after you. What's he gonna show up as? What's your fear? What makes you taste good?
My biggest fear is dying alone. And not necessarily a physical alone, just feeling alone.
So it depicts you sitting in a chair dead all by yourself.
I guess so.
Actually, no. It would be him sitting alone in a rocking chair with his flesh decaying. That would get him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It can work with that.
Yeah.
It
It,
could work.
it could work with that.
Dark, anything in the dark or water. I'm terrified of water.
Dark water.
Dark water.
That's Jennifer
yeah.
Connelly.
Well,
Not
the
gray
remake.
water. Not gray
Not
water.
gray water?
Not gray water. Dark water.
50 Shades
You
of Grey
can't
water?
see- No. Yuck.
Oh, that is
There will be
terrible.
no 50 Shades of Grey water up in here. Sorry.
That's probably a Pornhub video.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm terrified of the dark. And I know that sounds really strange, but it's not because
Especially
it's
as
dark.
dark as you keep your house.
I know. It's not that it's dark. It's what's in the dark that you can't see. That,
Right.
That,
Fear of
Which
the
is
unknown.
why she
Right,
can't
the fear-
stand Amityville.
And it's the fear of the unknown for me. And that's why I don't like Amityville. Because you don't see it. And
Happens
I
off
need
screen.
to see it. That's why I don't watch a lot
we
of
just
that.
saw it.
That's why I don't watch a lot of the like paranormal activity movies, because you don't see what the thing
What is doing the thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
you don't see what's doing the thing. Like there's a new one called Bad Ben. Have you seen the trailers for it?
No.
Okay, it's this man. It's like home video camera, like the home security
Right,
cameras.
right.
And in one part, it was showed. I was watching a trailer for it today on Facebook, and it like shows him, and it like sucks him back down the room. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. And it's not that it like completely terrifies me. Like I go into panic attacks, terrifies me. I just it flips a switch in my brain, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Where's somebody? I gotta see somebody.
Yeah.
I gotta go see and be with somebody. I don't want to
Yeah.
be by myself. So,
Okay.
Okay, honey?
Chris,
Clowns.
clown
No,
spiders.
it's not
Clown
clowns.
spiders. Clown
Okay.
spiders.
All right, so here's the thing. Y'all have this very, very, very bad conception of the fact that I'm terrified of clowns. I'm not terrified.
Chris, if I showed up at your house in the middle of the night
I
dressed
would
as a clown,
probably hit
Stab
you.
you.
Here's
would
the,
try to murder me.
here's the
okay?
thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not scared. Scared would make you run away. I'm not scared of clowns.
This is
No,
the
you would
definition
run away
between a
until you
scared
realized
and
it was
fear.
me, and then
There
you would
is
try
a-
to kill me.
But here's the thing: is what provokes that action in you? It's fear.
Being scared.
It's
Fear.
scared.
It's
It's
fear.
fear. So even
It's
though
survival.
you have,
No.
even though you
Which
have the
is
survival
is caused by
instinct,
fear.
you still have the survival instinct.
She doesn't want to
lash
admit
out.
she's afraid of clowns.
I'm
she
not
is
scared
afraid
of clowns. I really am not.
Okay, okay. The fight or flight response is based on fear. If it's whether run away
If
or
you
fight,
stick me in a room of clowns, it's not.
you're gonna beat the shit out of all of
I'm
them
not
because you're scared.
No, I won't. I swear to God. I will bet the farm on
Let's
this
go
one. If
to
you
the
stick me in
Let's go to the
jail.
circus.
Go to the circus.
Let's go to the circus. We go sit front row in
I
front
haven't
of the
been to a
clowns.
circus in forever.
I haven't either.
Okay,
can
so
do
then
this.
what is it?
But they have the popcorn.
What's going to
And it's
scare
not
you?
spiders
What
either.
is Pennywise going to use?
Corn.
Honestly, the biggest fear I have is somebody hurting my family. That is the biggest fear. It is the not being able to protect my family.
What's Monica's biggest fear?
What's Monica's biggest fear?
I think she's asleep.
Torture?
Torture.
Okay.
Okay.
Saw.
Saw? Jigsaw? Yeah.
Jigsaw.
It looks like they're at least trying to inject some humor into that new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I'm
Yeah,
not.
I'm not.
Well,
I saw the
as
first one,
someone-
that was
as-
enough.
As someone who's seen all of the movies,
I have seen all of them, too.
I
Why?
can tell you that
Why the hell not?
humor is a
Seen
good
two.
injection into it.
Yeah, it definitely needs some humor.
I've seen two of them.
I've seen them all.
They're good moments.
Other than
Saw
dark
half the
water,
first
other than
one.
dark water, the one thing that would get me would be needles.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
scene in,
Really?
in Saw where she falls in the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I don't do needles. You can ask Monica. I can't watch. She went to get her IV changed. I had to leave the room.
You got a tattoo.
So when Freddy Krueger had the needle fingers and
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
that's another question. Why was Friday the 13th,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5
Why
displayed?
Because it was the year.
So prominent.
Because one
was in the
side
area.
of the marquee said Batman and
Was that
Lethal
their
Weapon 2.
Was that
Lethal
their
Weapon 2.
homage to the fact that in the miniseries they put "I was afraid of a teenage werewolf" or whatever?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know why in Donnie Darko does it have Last Temptation of Christ up on the marquee.
That's a good film. Scorsese, it's a good film.
Honey, I
Anyways.
love you.
Okay.
Anyway, Tim.
With all my passion, but no.
Tim, Pennywise is coming after you. What's he using?
Monica, what's his fear?
Oh,
Losing his family.
There you go.
Someone taking away all your nerd fun?
I really don't know.
They crushed his Yoda.
Someone hurting his family, probably.
Yep.
More than likely, yeah.
Taking his family away. See, I called it. I
all
know.
these
I know
abstract
people.
comments.
Except mine.
all these-
Except mine. I'm full on. Needles in the dark. Don't get me. Don't get me with needles in the dark.
Water needles in the dark.
Yes, water needles in the dark.
I'm not scared of clowns or anything like that. I don't like them, but I'm not scared.
See, I don't.
Right.
That's the same thing with me. I don't like them, but I'm not
Yeah,
scared
keep
of
telling
them.
yourself
Okay.
that, Chris.
You know what? There's a Pennywise that comes to Frightmare. I will take my picture with him.
Okay, Katie.
Okay, so I have a politically correct one and an unpolitically correct one.
When did we ever become PC in this group?
What the hell?
So the first one is
Donald Trump?
no. Although that rings up there number 3. So
I'm gonna grab you.
Yep. So first one is tight spaces filling with water.
Okay.
Can't do it.
So
Well, you can't do.
Freaks
so-
me out.
so-
Claustrophobia is a big thing in
Fear.
general.
No.
Big issue.
Drowning.
no magic tricks for you. Okay, gotcha.
She hates shark penis.
Oh my god,
Okay, yeah.
I can't go through them. They make me sick.
Like at the
Like,
Dallas
we-
Aquarium?
I try to
It's
pass
the
out.
fear of drowning.
She's had
Yeah.
to put her.
Well, the thing
She has
is,
to
I'm
put
a
her hands on my
fantastic swimmer.
shoulders and walk
Like-
with her head down.
Yeah, but
Okay.
swimming you can still control
She
it.
doesn't
Drowning
swim.
you
Right.
can't control.
She doesn't
it.
swim.
No, but she said
No, you don't swim.
I do. I don't like to, but
But
I
she
am a
can.
good swimmer.
She can't.
I'm a
She
very
doesn't
good
like
swimmer.
to.
Okay,
But
so
that's
which
what
one was
floating.
that?
That's the politically correct
and
one.
and
was-
politically.
well,
Okay,
offended
so
Damn
the
you.
politically incorrect one is okay. So I'm trying to remember which movie it is. Paul will be able to tell me which one it is. So it's
Slumdog Millionaire.
the girl who has the girl who has a sister with spinal meningitis that lives in the back room of their house.
Are you talking about Pet Cemetery?
Yeah, I'm talking about the
What is it? All right, Rachel's the sister. What's the name of her sister?
Okay,
she's
so
taking
wait,
care
what's
of?
the fear?
The sister. I don't know how to interact with. It's more of a fear
So
of
then you haven't
awkwardness
shown her basket case
and
yet.
That kind of thing. People with
There's a reason she
severe
hasn't watched
disabilities.
Freaks. She doesn't know
So
how
I
to.
can't do it.
interact.
So you
I can't.
have an
You need to go to
unacceptedness.
school with Monica a couple
What?
of times.
Yeah.
You have a fear of not being able to accept them.
Yes, because I want to. I want to be able to deal with it. I
Katie,
have no
you
idea
can't
how to. It
understand them,
freaks
that's
me out.
why.
I have no way to relate to
If
them.
you know what's really funny, this is what Monica does for a living.
Yeah.
She's
Oh
a
my
special
gosh.
needs teacher. That's what she does.
Seriously?
She's a special needs
So
teacher.
you deal with people who have
Yes.
that issue all the time, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it drives you nuts, I'm sure.
No, she loves it.
Okay.
She
And I
loves it.
have several clients that I cut their
We
hair
really
for.
need. It's one of those things
No,
that
I mean people that don't know how to interact with them.
yeah.
Like that's
That's
yeah.
what she meant.
She's
when she
afraid.
Said that.
She's
There-
afraid of.
I have several
She means
clients.
people
afraid
like
of-
her, not people like the ones
no,
she's
no,
No,
describing.
no,
Yeah.
it's my inability to.
So you're afraid
interact
you're going to
with
like
them
say the
on
wrong
a-
thing
say the
or
wrong thing, or
She's afraid she's
not
going to drop
be-
the R word in
Yeah.
conversation. Oh God, you're retarded.
Not being
You know.
empathetic, like that social awkwardness would kill me. Like I don't know how to.
so
don't know how
you're
to
afraid of
function.
doing
So
stuff.
this is Pennywise going in for the long game. He's
Yeah.
gonna show up somebody with Down syndrome, and then it's gonna be a miracle worker type story.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it would be the Down syndrome person that is very with it, and
Yeah.
this like makes me feel like an ass because I
Katie's
don't know
going to
how
be so
to deal with
screwed.
it.
She's going to be the floating in the air. We're going to come
Yep.
in. Oh, there's Katie.
Oh, damn. We got to get her down.
Yep.
I'll start climbing. Shit.
Damn it.
So just
Give
don't
me
look
boost.
at Pennywise and be like, I bet those thingies hurt. I just lost train of thought on what that was.
Good.
Not real
Crutches.
sure.
I bet those crutches hurt.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Those thingies.
I've done
Those
crutches.
Those
thingies
thingies.
hurt.
Or better yet, he'd turn her into somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
do it. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So there we go.
There we go.
It
That's
tonight.
it.
That was
We
it
had
tonight.
That was it.
Yep.
That was
is
it.
So mine.
Oh, yours.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we forgot Paul.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I
Sorry,
bet
Paul.
Pennywise would come at you and be because you're afraid of not getting your turn.
It'd be
Ooh, no, because he's a writer, he'd get bad reviews.
It would be an illiterate person
There you go.
taking over his job. I can see it now. Someone from the sticks. No, just teasing.
I have an actual answer.
Okay, come on. Let's
Okay,
have it.
let's hear it.
I have the abstract comments that like y'all have,
I was gonna say absent.
I had a nightmare once, and I realized that there's absolutely no way that I could engage in this situation, and it made it an awkward dream. Feral child,
Oh, okay.
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 because like
You were interacting with one.
getting attacked by one.
Okay.
Because there is an
talk your way out of it.
epic subtitled Spanish horror film from the 70s called Quien Poder Matar un Niño? Who Could Kill a Child? And it is about a village where there are no adults, and this group of adults come into it, and they start to realize all too late what had happened, and it gets into a thing of fight or flight. Whether you
so
can actually
don't let Becca near him.
Okay.
So,
okay.
is it absolute straight up feral children, or is it like
I've seen
Children
a few
of the
movies.
Corn?
I've seen a few movies
it Lord of the
about feral.
Flies?
I've seen
Yeah.
a movie. I've
Are
seen
we
a few
talking
movies.
Mowgli or, Children of the Corn? I mean,
Or
'cause there's-
Lord of the Flies in between.
Yeah.
The kids from Mama, if they were homicidal,
Okay,
would be
yeah,
pretty bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. What about Goodnight Mommy? What about those kids?
Not so much.
Really scary.
One of
They
them wasn't
weren't-
even around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because
Spoilers, but whatever. That movie was BS.
Yeah. So
That movie was
Okay.
B.O., damn it. It was B.O.
B.O. Yeah.
It stunk. Okay.
All right.
Oh
So-
my god.
There we go. It this week. Don't know what we're gonna do next week. We'll figure it out and then let y'all know when we get back
always
next
do.
week. But if you enjoy this show and you want to continue to enjoy these shows, you can always subscribe to us on iTunes,
Click that button like it's
Google Play.
Google Play,
There you go.
and iHeartRadio, and then
Spreaker.
Spreaker.com and Podcast.com.
Yes.
And also, you can just watch us on YouTube if you
There
want.
you
Yeah, we've got
With
the YouTube.
subtitles. I can't wait to watch this one
Oh
with
yeah,
subtitles.
Hit
this
the
one will be great with
subscribe
subtitles.
button.
Have you ever done that?
No,
Okay,
Oh,
you
it's
need-
hilarious.
it's
If you
hilarious
let it do the
because-
automatic subtitles, it's great.
Because it has no idea what half the time what you're talking about. And
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Especially if
This is
you're from
hilarious.
Texas.
No, what's,
Right.
what's really funny is I'm dyslexic. It's gonna be
Oh, well, there you go.
hard to read.
Yeah, Charlie.
I think YouTube is also
Yeah. 'cause
YouTube is still
Yeah.
dyslexic.
because one of them was something about new horror or something. It's like, what?
New whore.
What?
WHORE.
Yeah, it actually said
New
whore.
whore.
That does not surprise me.
No.
Because I think
So-
we said that multiple times. Today.
Yeah, pretty much.
But if you also have comments or questions that you would like for us to,
Yes,
To,
say
we need
happy
to know.
birthday to
Say
Katie.
happy birthday to Katie.
yeah, say happy birthday
Ask
to
us
Katie.
questions if you want to know something.
You can
let
do
us
that on our
know.
Facebook, our Instagram,
Instagram,
Or
Twitter.
Twitter. Is that it?
Yeah.
I think so. But you can also comment on YouTube. So
Yeah, you could. Let's have some feedback.
let's do it. Let's do
Other
it.
than
Tell
just
your
Mike's
friend Joe.
microphone.
Post those.
Okay.
Don't just come to you.
Yes,
Don't
post.
think Joe doesn't exist. Joe's a figment.
We're all just a figment of your
No, you exist, right?
It's been mixed in there. He's like Harvey.
So
You're making me look like a damn fool.
Mixed in with the water there.
All right, so there we go. Our watch and review on the brand new It that just released this
Go
week.
see it.
Go see it. Definitely.
Check it out, and then come back and tell us what your opinions are on some of the questions that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
But-
If you don't like it, it's not our fault.
No.
yeah, if you don't like it, it's Tim's fault. No,
It's always Tim's fault.
We
gonna-
always blame Tim.
we're gonna need another Timmy.
Yep. That's why.
So we will catch y'all again next week, and as always,
Stay scared.
Fear Central is a product of Thoughtbox Studios. Copyright 2017. For more information, visit thoughtboxstudios.com.